So hello everyone. So in this video, I'm gonna be talking a little bit about Kung Fu, and specifically how to train certain types of Kung Fu. I feel like it's not so much that the Kung Fu doesn't work. It's not so much that this style is just useless, and it's not so much that MMA is just way better than Kung Fu. Although to a certain extent, of course, it will be. Um, but again, I would like to suggest that should you know both real Kung Fu and also a certain level of MMA, you have a higher chance of successfully fighting than just MMA. Okay? But of course, if you're going to be fighting MMA style, you need the basic MMA knowledge. But it's easy because you can go anywhere in the country and you can find trainers of MMA. MMA is well known. It's works, right? There has been proof that MMA works over and over again. The UFC, for instance, is proof that the MMA style of fighting works and will continue to work. Now, the problem with Kung Fu is that there has been no singular person that has proved that Kung Fu itself works. I'm not going to be that person in this life, I don't think, because I just cannot afford brain damage. And if you think that's me running away or being a rabbit, that's fine. I'm not here to, try to prove to anyone anything. But I can do Kung Fu badminton and I can do Kung Fu basketball. Whether you believe it or not, maybe you haven't seen it, but I can assure you that, in the gym, I'm doing Kung Fu badminton. I'm doing Kung Fu. I have done Kung Fu basketball. I've done drunken basketball. I've done drunken badminton. All the animal styles, I've done that in badminton. And so it's proof that Kung Fu itself also works. But that's not why I'm making this video. Why I'm making this video is because I feel responsible to pass on the methods, the true methods of learning Kung Fu, and they're not as simple as you might think. A lot of Kung Fu practitioners, they practice the style, yet they cannot use it in a fight. And I think there's one thing really missing, and that is being able to think in terms of your Kung Fu. And that requires a basic, high level understanding of weiqi. Weiqi being this Chinese strategy game with stones. And the first step of learning Kung Fu is becoming proficient at this game, because later you're going to be thinking using your Kung Fu style on the board, right? Fighting means being able to think using your style. You have to use it and think. What all these Kung Fu masters are missing is they can't think using their style. So when they go in a fight, they're not thinking, and what they're trying to do makes no sense, because it's not what the Kung Fu art is. So many little things that nobody's paid attention to. But if you go on, for instance, if you don't know, Wing Chun is not an actual fighting style. Wing Chun is a way to practice thinking, right? When you do your little, your little snake style, your little mantis style, or little whatever, you have to be able to think using that art, right? If I'm gonna go tiger style, I have to be able to think. And that is what weiqi is for. The importance of weiqi in Kung Fu is unparalleled, because if I'm able to think on the board and I'm doing this, and doing this in the style of my Kung Fu art, then it becomes possible to fight with. That's why MMA is so successful, because when you use MMA, thinking is very simple. The coaches teach you to think, and you slowly learn to think, and it's very, it's very obvious. Right? It's very obvious. When people talk about Tai Chi Chuan is the #1 art, Tai Chi Chuan is just a normal art, But then you go towards animal styles, and first of all you think, oh, how come it's BS? How come they made this art? It doesn't matter, but so you have to be able to think, right? You have to be able to think, and you have to know how to use your mind within that style. Because if that style is just a bunch of movements that you're not thinking about, it's like playing chess and you're not fully respecting what each of the pieces do. Right? You can learn several movements in Kung Fu. For instance, I can learn scratch in tiger style. But if I don't fight using the scratch, it's not going to work or do anything. But when I'm playing weiqi, I imagine. That's the key point in Kung Fu. Kung Fu takes imagination. When I'm playing weiqi on my computer screen, the 19x19 board, weiqi Go Baduk, weiqi WEIQI, Go Go, Baduk BADUK. When I'm playing the stones, I'm imagining that I'm fighting using my claws. I'm imagining that I'm moving. I'm imagining all these things. And when you imagine, then when you practice, you know. Right? So